And every man that I met, I felt as if he was like my father. And every woman that I met, I felt like she's like my mother. Umar Zanu said, ذَاكَ شَأْنُ الْإِيمَانِ. This was the level of society that they had reached. So this transformation, my respected brothers, happened because of the effort that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made a great effort on Sahaba, and this changed them. And this changed the whole society. So my respected brothers, in this time and age also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this effort of deen. And we've been hearing that this, you see, khuruj, going out in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is one aspect of this effort. MashaAllah, people go out and far and wide and travel while they're out in the path of Allah. And at the same time, my respected brothers, as long as, but for the most part of our lives, most of us, we spend time in our localities. For the most part, we spend time in our own localities. So what are we to do in our localities? And how, what we can do in our localities can achieve this objective that we just talked about. How, what we can do in our localities every day, how this can spread deen in the whole world. So my respected brothers, if we look at the ability of one person, what can he do? Can he go and can he travel all over the world and deliver this message of deen to people? It is very difficult. Can he go across his whole country? Again, very difficult. Can he go across perhaps his whole city? Again, very difficult. But can every person who's living in his locality, can he go around and visit the Muslims of his own area? Can he go around and visit the people around his masjid? Yes, this is possible. And if a lot of people start doing that, and this starts happening in every masjid, then a very big part of what we just mentioned, this will be achieved. That deen will reach the four corners of the world. So that is why, my respected brothers, when we are living in our localities, we are told to do some a'mal, to participate in some a'mal in our masajid. The masajid, these are the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whoever loves the masjid, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He loves them. It is said that some people, they are the pegs of the masajid. When they are not there, the angels, they miss them. When they're sick, the angels, they visit them. And when they're out for a purpose, the angels are in their help. So, and everything, my respected brothers, is hidden in the masajid. This is a place, we can think of it like an approval office. Anything that you come here and you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this thing, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala approves it for you, then that problem will be solved. While you see nothing here, everything is here. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is found over here. So the more, my respected brothers, our connection to our masajid increases, the more, you see, the khair and the khair of deen will spread. From here, it will go to our markets. From here, it will go to our houses. From here, it will go to our workplaces. The khair will spread. The more this is like a power station. The masajids are like power stations. Whatever is connected to that power station, it is all lit up. If a market is connected to a power station, it is lit up. If a home is connected, it is lit up. If a factory is connected, it is lit up. So whatever is connected, from wherever the people are connected to the masajid, those places will be lit up with the nur of iman and amal. So that is something that each one of us is responsible to do in our own areas while we are living in our own in our houses, in our daily lives. So what can we do for this? First of all, my respected brothers, every day we need to make an intention that I will spend some time of my day, I will spend it in visiting the Muslims around my masjid. Actually, before that, let's start with making the halqa of ta'aleem. In every masjid, we establish and we participate regularly in our halqa of ta'aleem. Halqa of ta'aleem means that the books of virtues that every common man can read, from this book of Fazail, we sit together and we fix a time, and then we are joining this halqa of ta'aleem every day. What is the benefit of this? The benefit is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made insan greedy. He's made insan somebody who, when he sees some benefit, he wants to get it. So when we sit in these halqas, what we will be, every day we will get some nourishment. That if I read Quran, one harf gets me 10 hasanat. So when I hear this, I'll be motivated to read Quran. When I hear that on one subhanallah, Allah will give me a tree which is so long that if an Arabian horse runs under its shade for a year, the shade will not finish. When I read this, I will get motivated. Let me read subhanallah, right? When I read, if you make astaghfar, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open ways out of difficulties for you. Allah will forgive your sins. And Allah will feed you from places that you can't imagine. When we read this, we're going to get motivated. Hey, let me do my tasbihat. I knew I had to do it, but this was a reminder. So this iman, the listening of the virtues of amal, this is like water for our iman. Things that we already know, we will start practicing them. Whatever we're not practicing, we will start practicing them. And whatever we are already practicing, the spirituality in those amal, that will increase because of me sitting in this halqa of ta'lim. So we have to be regular in this halqa of ta'lim of our masjid. Now my respected brothers, every day we have to go around and we have to visit the Muslims of our locality. This is very important because the people that we see is very simple. The people that we see in our masajid, this is a certain percentage of the Muslim population that lives around in our locality. And but there's a big population that lives around the masjid. And for this population, my respected brothers, who needs to go and invite them towards the masjid? It is the people of the masjid. The people of the masjid, they are the ones who have to go and invite these people to come to the masjid. So this is something that we have to do. And when we do this, my respected brothers, when we say we go and invite people to the masjid, what does it mean? It doesn't mean that we tell them, hey brother, I haven't seen you in the masjid. Come, you should make sure you come to the masjid. We haven't seen you for a bit. No, it's not like that. We would do it just like anything else of deen. We do it the way Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam taught us. The way we have learned from, you see, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did it. So this thing also needs to be done the way Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And how did they do it? If we look at the lives of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we will find that they used to go and they used to encourage people. They used to talk to people about iman, about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, about amal, used to tell them about akhirat, that this is the ajr Allah will give you in akhirat. This is the reward you will get because of salat, because of Quran, because of, describe Jannah in front of them. And they create a zeal in their hearts that if you do this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you all of these things. So when we go to them this way, my respected brothers, then two things will happen. And these two things are things that are needed to make deen easy for us. What are the two things that we need to follow deen and to make an environment of deen? The two things are, number one, we need an inner strength to follow deen, to make amal on deen. And that inner strength is the inner strength of iman. And then we need the environment. We need an environment of deen, something that is conducive, that helps us to follow deen. Both of these things are needed. Their example is like a person in dunya, he needs two abilities, two things to come together to be able to see the benefit and the loss. What does he need? He needs the light of the day. There has to be light outside so he can see something. If he has complete light in his eyes and it's totally dark outside, he will not be able to see. Right? It'll be difficult. He will walk in a ditch, he will not know where to go, what is the right thing, where is the wrong thing. On the other hand, if there is 100% light, but he has no vision himself, there is no nur in his eyes, then again he will not be able to see. So similarly, we also need the power of iman and the environment outside to help us. So when we make these visits, my respected brothers, every day, what is going to happen? That when we go to people and we talk to them about the hidden world and about akhirat, then this hidden world will sink inside us. Because the belief of the hidden world, this is the driver for our deen. And the more we talk about it, the more we hear about it, the more you see, it will sink inside us. And we will become stronger and stronger in our belief on akhirat, in our connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the belief that through amal, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will solve my problems. When I say 10 times to someone tells me a problem, and when 10 times I tell him, brother, through astaghfar, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removes your problems. And if you read Yasin in the morning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps you throughout the day. After 10 times, I will start thinking myself that, when I have a problem, then my heart will remind me that, brother, why don't you make this tasbih of astaghfar more regularly and increase it so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes a way out of your problem. So what I just did, I strengthened my iman. Through what? Through making these visits every day. And at the same time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has kept an effect in every amal. Like we hear that through fasting, you see, we acquire taqwa, and through zakat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala purifies our mal, and through our wealth, and through making salat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He keeps us away from fahish and munkar, from lewdness, lewd activities. So, similarly, da'wat has the effect of changing the environment. So on one hand, so it's a double-edged sword. On one hand, we are, working on our iman, and we are making our iman stronger by going to people and talking about these things. And on the other hand, we are changing the environment. Those people who we are conveying the message to, those people who we are reminding, these people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah, will make them make us the source of guidance for these people. Right? So these visits, my instructors, every time we visit a person, we don't know what our little talk, our short talk, what kind of effect it will have on him. We are not aware. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can make this person's heart change. Allah had already written hidayat in His muqaddar, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent us to him, and because of us, that little change happened, and mashallah, he started a life. And on the Day of Judgment, what will this turn out to be? It is said that people will be behind them, there will be thousands going into Jannah. Why? Because, because this person would have given da'wah to this person, and because of him, a second one had given da'wah to the third one, and then to the fourth, and then to the fifth, and one of them opened a madrasa, and all of this came to his good deeds. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't have to divide the dividends. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives complete dividend to everyone, 100% to everyone, right? People, they have to divide because they have limited. But Allah doesn't have limited. Allah will give 100%. You see, you invited this guy, he prayed salat, his salat accepted or not, that's a different problem. But you will get 100% of the salat that he prayed. So this is a matter of business, my respect brothers. This is a matter of using our time every single day to go and make those visits. And then, similarly, my respect brothers, this giving time every day to the masjid, this is something that will, once we start doing this, the only issue that comes and why we are unable to do this is because we have to take out time for this. And this is where we have to be regular. This is where we have to be regular, and we have to be steadfast. So all of these, there is, all of these talks that we heard, that so and so benefit is there to follow deen, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in akhirat and dunya will give us these things. These benefits, my respect brothers, now we have to be steadfast on thinking that Allah has kept all of these things for me if I'm able to follow this path. And for this, I need some steadfastness, and I need some istiqamat, as they call it, right? So this istiqamat cannot happen unless I have firm belief in these things, unless I have firm belief in these promises of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They said the people, this is the work of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts those who are people of qualities. And the qualities, they are made when a person gives sacrifice. It's just like, a stone, when you polish it, then the stone shines, right? And its worth increases. So when a person has qualities inside him, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts this person for the effort of deen. and Allah takes work from him. And this opposition and this sacrifice, how does sacrifice happen? When we are steadfast on whatever we have decided to do. So a person has decided, he made an intention that, hey, from today, inshallah, I will try to give some time to my masjid. How much time? I will try to give an hour to the masjid, 1.5 hours to the masjid, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And now, now he will have to give some sacrifice to do it. Because when he comes back from work, then somebody will say that, okay, today, we have to go to Walmart to buy these things. So what do we have to say? What do we have to think at that time? We have to think at that time, no, this responsibility that Allah has given us, the responsibility of the effort of deen, this is a greater responsibility. That is the time when we have to exercise this thing, right? It's not just about hearing it and going back. That's the time for exercise. That Allah has given me a job, and if I am neglectful of that job, then there's a huge disaster that's waiting, because the whole world is waiting for me. That's the time we have to think. Yeah, this is the call for the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This time for making my visits, this is the time that Allah is calling me. Allah's deen is calling me. At that time we have to remember, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to go in the tents of Mina, and he used to say that, مَن يَأْوِينِي مَن يَنصُرُنِي فَلَهُ الْجَنَّةِ, who is going to, give some shelter to me, who is going to help me, and for him there is Jannah. That is the time we have to remember that, Sahaba used to get this call, An-Nafir, or Ya Khairallah Irkabi. All of these things, my respected brothers, what is the application of that in our life today? Are we going to hear those calls? Are we going to be told to, get on somewhere and go just like Sahaba used to go for precisely that same job? No. Today's application of all those calls and all those stories of Sahaba is this call. The call that we are getting today to make the effort of deen every day in our life. And that ayat that Allah has mentioned in the Quran, that Allah has made the world beautiful, and through, your sons and your wives and the gold and the silver and the horses and all those things, that is there to distract you. So when I come back home from work and it's time for my visits, what do I need to think? I need to think that no, my example is like that pilot. You see a person in a plane, when the plane is flying, then there are some people who are ordinary. Those are the passengers of the plane. These passengers, if they sleep and they're neglectful, it doesn't matter, who cares? He'll just miss his meal, he'll probably get another one later. But if the pilot sleeps, what's going to happen? Because the pilot is the responsible person. If he sleeps, the whole plane is going to sink. Hundreds of people will lose their lives. So that's precisely how we have to think of ourselves, my respected brothers. We have a status. Allah has given us this great job. All of these things that we heard throughout the 2 days, this is the job Allah has given us. And if we are neglectful of that job, every evening when I come back from work, if going to Walmart is more important to me at that time of my visits, there's a big problem. And that's why we came here, to understand that. That's not the time. Yes, we have to go to Walmart. Yes, we have to sit and do homework with our kids. Yes, we have to take our kids to maktab. All of that has to happen, but not at the cost of the effort of deen. That's like throwing away diamonds and picking up pebbles. Right? So my respected brothers, for this we need to organize ourselves. And we need to say that I need to increase my contribution towards the effort of deen. I need to increase my, effort that I'm making for the sake of deen. This mission of spreading deen all over the world, this mission, I have to be part of it. And this work gives me a platform to be able to be part of it. Otherwise, if we just say that, okay, we have to spread deen all over the world, okay, what's next? What are me and you doing every day of our life, apart from being an IT person or a doctor or an engineer? What are we doing to accomplish this purpose? This work helps us do that. This work enables us to do that. It gives us a very easy path to do that. And my respected brothers, these humble beginnings, these little visits, if they happen, this is like termite. It's like termites eat on wood, and this is precisely what will eat on the whole structure of batil that seems very grand and very big, but it will fall like, you see, like hollow wood falls. You see, when this effort keeps going on, and the hearts of Muslims, they become connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the Muslims, their yaqeen on a'mal increases, and for them, akhirat becomes way more important than this dunya. The hearts needs to be strengthened first, and then the Muslim's life will become strengthened with his amal, and then the whole ummah will become strengthened. And then just like Umar radhiyallahu anhu, he said, we were the most humiliated people, Allah gave us respect through Islam, and if we seek respect in anything other than through which Allah gave us respect, Allah will humiliate us again. So my respect, brothers, those days of glory and the glory of Islam, we have to do something for it. Another hadith says that the rising of my ummah, or the growth or the glory of my ummah, started with zuhud and yaqeen. And its fall starts with bukhl and amal. Zuhud and yaqeen means, zuhud means abstinence from dunya, that your heart is void of the love of dunya. And yaqeen is tawakkul on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who feeds me, Allah is the one who sustains me, Allah is the one who cherishes, nourishes me. All of this is what hadith is telling us, that this is the source of the growth of this ummah, this is the source of the rising of this ummah. And bukhl and amal, and that we hold back and we have long hopes. So we should think, what is the application of this in my life every day? Every day when I come home, I was asked to give time for visits in my masjid, so that we can go and visit all the Muslims in my locality. But what am I doing? Am I holding back? Am I holding back? Am I spending that same time that I could have spent to develop the yaqeen and to develop the abstinence from dunya in the hearts of people and in my own heart? Am I spending that time in amal, in long hopes, in planning for that next 20 years, in planning for that next 10 years, for the next 30 years? What's going to happen with